So today we are going to attempt to pull the grizzly locker rear differential out of spike.
Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it, and I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story.
And see if we can instead put in a set of standard spider gears in the rear differential, hoping that this will take care of some of the handling quirks that we've got going on. Every time that you have pressure against the pinion or are accelerating, the truck kind of wants to twitch. If you're going straight, it's fine, but if you let off the gas to go into a corner and hit the gas again, you don't know which way it's going to twitch. So every time you are off the throttle and then start to accelerate again, it wants to kick the back of the truck one way or another, which is a little unsettling, and I'm sure would be pretty interesting handling in the snow in the wintertime. So I had installed it because it came with the axles. I didn't get a standard carrier with the axles when I got them. So I picked up some spider gears. We're going to try and install that spider gear set in place of the grizzly locker, just to see. In this short wheelbase truck with the high center of gravity, it's a little unnerving. So we're going to see if we can do that today. So we got to pull the wheels off, pull an axle shaft out. We're going to double check that the axle shaft fits into the splines of the spider gear that I got before we tear the rear carrier out. So this is a used set that I bought because it's really a test, right? If this solves the handling issues, then we'll eventually order another air locker differential. If this does not solve the handling issues, then we're back to the drawing board. I just want to make sure that the gear that we got fits the splines, which it does perfectly. Just looking to make sure the gears that I got sent are all here. Everything's in good shape. That does appear to be the case. We've got the shims that we need. These two gears are the ones that slide onto the axle shafts, obviously, and then we have the four spider gears along with their shims, which will go in there on this. So for those of you that haven't seen the inside of a differential, we'll just kind of loosely set this stuff together here so that you can get an idea what that looks like. So in the GM 14 bolt differential, you have this kind of a spider tree, I guess I'd call it. You have the two output gears going to your shafts, one on either side, and then you have this kind of tree or crossbones in the middle, which holds the four spider gears. And what that does, it allows your two axle shafts to rotate independent of one another based on varying conditions, right? So the issue I'm having is as I'm going around the corner, these are both locked together, or they're unlocking, right? So as I go around the corner, they unlock, but then as soon as I hit the gas, they're locking again, and they always want to go straight. But depending on where the orientation of the teeth is in that locker, you don't know where it's got to lock before it hits straight. So it could pitch the truck one direction or another. The open style carrier, which is what this will be, will allow them to spin independently of one another. And yeah, let's get to putting it in. All right, so here's our differential. Now I'm gonna pull the bolts that separate the two halves of the carrier. Okay, so here is the inner workings of the Yukon Grizzly locker. So you can see that's how that stuff is all going to sit in there, and how the spider gears will allow the axle shaft to rotate independently of one another. So now we'll put her back together. Okay, now we will clean up the mating surfaces and get this thing put back together, fill her up with some lube. So swapped in the spider gears to the open rear style differential, just going for our first test ride. I mean, obviously it didn't fix the suspension quirks that it has. There's no sway bar on the truck, so it has a little bit of side-to-side body roll, but at least when you're going around corners, getting on and off the gas, you don't have that twitchy feeling in the back end. So yeah, I think it's one more step in the right direction for sure. So of course the only appropriate place to test drive it to was water, because that's what she wanted. Now we're hungry, so we're gonna come downtown and try and find a place to eat with all the tourists. Yay.